Hi, Melanie Muenchinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today I have a new project for you with my newest set from Gina K Designs, A Year of Flowers 3, and I am pairing it today with one of the images and a little butterfly and a greeting from the new StampTV kit, Sending Love. So I love this huge daffodil border that we have in our StampTV kit. I want to show you with a technique called Omission, which is just using a water-based marker to ink up some parts of your image so that you can either customize it, whether you want to use just part of it on your card, or if you want to add something to it. In this case, I'm going to be adding this lotus flower, or it could be another flower, but that's what I drew it from in my A Year of Flowers 3 set. I noticed that the size of the flowers were pretty similar. So again, it's a beautiful border on its own, very easy to just stamp it and color it the way it is. But if you want to change it up for a different look, this is a great way to get even more versatility out of both of the images, and you don't have to do any masking. For this particular project, you're going to need, in addition to those two stamp sets, you're going to need a large block for that border. So this is about 3 inches by 5 inches. And then I've got some smaller acrylic blocks for those smaller images. The ink pad that I'm using today is the Memento Tuxedo Black. This is great for coloring and a really nice detailed image. I'm using the cardstock. I've got the Gina K Pure Luxury Dusty Rose, some black onyx, and some white. And I realized after I made this that I could have used the innocent pink that's in the kit. So if you wanted to use the innocent pink, you'd already have all 3 of these colors from that StampTV kit. And I've got a great tip about black cardstock today if you need some in a pinch, because I found out that I was pretty much out when I started this project today. So this is kind of a make it work project today. The coloring tools that we're going to be using today, so I have got the DR1, CR6, and CR2 for those petals. I'm going to go with some cooler greens today. I've got the JG1 and the LG5 for the leaves. I've got the CT3 and OR2 for the centers. And then this is optional, I've got just the Wink of Stella Glitter pen. And when you're doing Omission, it's kind of nice to have maybe a white pen. I can't find my gel pen right now, so I've got this larger one. But this can cover up some boo-boos if you need it. And then I've got just a fine black pen for any time that you might miss a little detail and you just need to add some. It's not drawing, it's just going to be like filling in a tiny line, just following along, almost like connect the dots. And then for the tip that I'm going to show at the end, you can use either a black Spectrum Noir aqua-based marker, or I've also got this True Black Spectrum Noir marker. This is alcohol. So, but for the coloring onto the vine, we're going to be using this water-based marker. You can use alcohol markers when you are stamping, but you would have to mist it first with some alcohol so that you could actually do that stamping and get it off of your stamp. Otherwise, it's going to dry very quickly. So we are going to be using this water-based marker for inking up just part of that vine. And then I've got some scissors for the butterfly, and then we'll just use a little scrap of Pure Luxury White to do that butterfly. Okay, so let's begin by stamping our vine. So I'm only, and you can already see when I made this previously, that these are all inked up here. So it's really easy to see where the ink is if I'm going to mass produce this card. But you want to be real careful. You're going to go just right onto the stamp using just the edge of that brush tip. And keep in mind, you don't want to go too hard because you don't want to damage the tip. So you're going over these edges here of the stamp. So that can cause some fraying if you're not careful. But I really think it's worthwhile to do this every once in a while. I just love omission. Whether you want to omit maybe part of a greeting so that a 2-word greeting is done in 2 different colors. I love doing that. Or just using part of a greeting. For instance, if it's thank you so much, but thank you fits your space better. And then we're going to add those flowers after we do our stamping. And if you want to maybe not have as much space in there, so you have a little more space for the lotus flower, you could do that too. It is going to overlap in a few places, but that's okay. You're not going to see that once we color it. Okay, so I'm just going to put this right over the mat. It looks so cool with those gaps. okay? And one thing I did forget to do, I always like to huff on it before I stamp it, just to moisten it. You'll get a little bit of a darker image there, but I'm fine with how that turned out. Okay, now let's go ahead and add our flowers. So if you wanted, again, you could do the water base, but this is just so much easier to get all this fine detail just using the ink pad. So we've got 3 spaces here for flowers now. So I'm going to tilt them in different directions, and you can see through with the clear stamp kind of how you want to cheat that so that it'll nestle in there, okay? And then we'll do this one. Okay. And then one right up here. So each one's going to turn out a little bit differently. Okay. And I noticed just a couple small places where it skipped a little bit, where I didn't get the stamp inked up. So I've got my fine black pen, and this is an 01. And then I'm going to fill in this space. So all I'm doing is just extending the line of that leaf. And then I'm not too worried about these little spots because it's all going to get filled in once I'm done coloring. Then let's go ahead and add the greeting, since I have a perfect space for it right here. It's okay if that goes over the greenery a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and stamp my butterfly on the scrap. Okay, so we'll color that and cut that out in a minute. So that's all the stamping that we're going to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and color in these leaves. I'm going to start with this first. I'm using the little small bullet tip end of my marker. And we're just going to fill in. So this is the lighter green that we're doing first. And so here, it kind of cut off here. I didn't have the end of my leaf. So what I did, just go ahead and fill it out, and you can extend that little leaf blade out there any place where it kind of looks like the image is just sort of trailing off into nowhere. So this is a piece of art, so it's totally fine to improvise and make it work. Pull that over. And I think I'm just going to color one of the flowers today so that you can see. So I have time for sharing my tip. I'm pretty excited about this because I've had this happen before. We'll get to that in a moment. Oh, and I forgot to show you, you do also need some adhesive for this card, for that butterfly and attaching your mats. And I came in and kind of found a little card making disaster. This is what happens to your adhesive when your cat has unrestricted access to your craft room. Yeah, so anyway, this video is due today though, so I gotta make that work also. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take the JG1, and we're just gonna go underneath all the places where the flower would be casting a shadow onto the leaves. So under here, and then on the underside where they're bending over, put some down here. Here. And on a wider leaf, just trace the underside. You can also do just a quick little swipe for that fold in the middle on each one. And then I like to do a little bit of it just right at the top of each flower. Just kind of darken that area. And I've gone out of the lines a little bit here. That's fine though. I accidentally went over my petal there. Not going to worry about that. So see, you can come out, kind of add some if you want, okay? Now I'm going to fill in, let's see, I'm going to use the chisel tip here just to get a large area here done. I'll go ahead and fill these too, just so you can see what it would look like if you didn't do any shading. on these flowers. And I'll pull over my card, finished card, so you can see where we're going once the color is all built up. So this would work great for a Mother's Day card. Blessings on your special day. I love to have thinking of you greetings or celebrate greetings or it's your day greetings on cards when I'm making them, and maybe I don't know when I'm going to send them out later, because you can add like a Mother's Day, or that would work for a birthday or wedding or just so many things. It's a nice general greeting to have. Okay, so let me pull this over here. All right, so next thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and fill in those centers. So really easy just to go in to the middle, that yellow, and then we're going to make just kind of a ring around the edge here, just leaving, let me put this on this side since my hand's not in the way, so that that lighter yellow is showing through in the middle. Okay, now I'm going to take my darker pink, this is the CR6, and I'm going to just go into underneath those petals, and then here where they curl up. And if you look at images of lotuses online, they actually have kind of like a little pink tip just at the tip of the petal. So I added that to each one. And then they also look like they have just kind of like little flicks, little stripes coming down. So you can add those as well. And I'm just putting all of this color in where you see the lines on the image. So it's really easy to see, okay, this is where the shadow goes. And then down below anywhere. So if you imagine your light coming from above, all these top petals that are folding out are going to be casting a shadow down onto the lower ones. Put some on the back here, these little stripes. Okay, and then finally I want to add in this DR1 just to really make it pop and get it just a little deeper in some of the areas. You don't want to blend too much because then you're not going to see that deeper color. But it's just really going to glow once you have 2 or 3 more colors laid down. Now let's color that little butterfly real quick. So I'm going to use the yellow. Where did my yellow go? Where did the yellow just go? Ah, did it just fall off the desk? It's one of those kind of days for me. So I'll do the orange first. Here we go. Getting ready for a craft fair, so my office is even messier than usual. I had to improvise my score pal tool with the end of another pen because I couldn't find that. Now looking over, I see it now that I'm done. Okay, so let's cut this out really quick. So I'm just going to go around, and you can go right up to the edge, or you can leave just a little bit of a white border there. And you could use a foam square to pop this up, or just a little bit of adhesive or a glue dot to the middle. And I'm going to swipe on just a little bit of glitter to this butterfly and also to that flower center. So I'm going to take my Stella pen, just swirl that around in the middle. And I hope you can see with these lights that I have that sparkle. So it's a clear glitter. So I love that it can go over any color. And then I'm going to bend it, and then I'm going to push in. So see how those wings are curving, and then you're just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back here. Okay, so here is my tip about my cardstock. So I went to my file folder of black cardstock, and the scrap that I had was about this big. I don't know how this happened. I don't know how I didn't notice that I didn't have black cardstock, but then I remembered the store has been out for a while. So I gotta have my black cardstock. So what I did is I found another piece of cardstock and then just went around the edge with a black marker. So you can do this with an alcohol marker, or you can do this with one of your water-based markers. The water-based marker, though, is going to sink into the cardstock a lot more and not look as opaque. But with one that has this thin of a border, it's probably not going to matter. So using a dark color to start with is probably going to be a better bet than a lighter color. But on this one, I actually used some pumpkin spice. That was a good option for me because that color is now retired. It's not available anymore. So all I did here, this is some of our edible eggplant, is I just went around the edge with that chisel tip. So you just want to protect your work surface, but it's raised up enough. I'm not really even getting it on my background paper, and I'll reuse this for doing more stamping. And so just going along the edge. So obviously you're going to be trading off one color for another, but maybe there's a pack that, you know, you haven't gotten as much use out of it as you might have wanted, or, you know, it's one that you like, but you need the black more. So I know that y'all know what that's like when you have to have a certain color for your design. So I'm going to take my crazy adhesive dispenser here, and I still have a lot of adhesive on the roll, but I mean, there's no way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to press down, press with my fingernail, and pull it away. Look at that. So I still have some working adhesive. It doesn't look pretty. It's not as convenient, but it is going to do the job. Okay, so I'll put this on. A nice little 1/16 inch reveal. And then a little more on here. Oh my gosh. So the corner. And you have to put some pressure or it's not going to come off. So this is kind of acting like this little piece here. Oh. Okay. Layer this on. And this is kind of a fun look to have one of the flowers pop out a little bit more, kind of like spotlighting, where you just color one image, but you're still having a suggestion of a color here. That's pretty too. So a lot of ways to do this. And then finally, I'm just going to put a little bit of this in the back of this butterfly. There's a lot of places you could put that. You could put it up here, down here. I just kind of wanted it to all go follow down like that. So I'm going to put it right here. I hope you see the potential and possibilities here for the omission technique with maybe some other stamps in your collection, but also with this cool border, and maybe see what other flowers you could put in there. You know, additionally, and I haven't tried it yet, but we have this beautiful corner flourish in the Sending Love kit as well. And so you could swap out these flowers for maybe a butterfly or some other flowers that you have, either from a Year of Flowers 3 or another set. I hope you enjoyed this technique today. I hope you will subscribe to my YouTube channel, visit my blog, Hands, Head, and Heart, and check out more of our products and ideas on StampTV and Gina K Designs. Thank you for watching today. God bless.